Nunez drives that one out to right center field. Perfect. And it's out of here. Oh my gosh. Eduardo Nunez has left the yard. His first homer of the season. Oh my. Hey everyone, hope you all are doing well. Welcome to another New York Mets franchise mode, episode number 46. As in the last one, it was a 1-0 game going into the 6th inning. We really got going. We had Alonso, Conforto, J.D. Davis, Brandon Nimmo, all stepping up and helping us get a bit of a blowout all in all. And I said it in the last video, but I decided to change the difficulty to All-Star, only because I feel like I can't really focus on two things at once. I haven't been able to talk about the Mets as much as I want to, and just about baseball or anything that's going on in general, because I always feel like I have to maintain such a crazy amount of focus. Because if I don't, I make that one mistake, home run, and boom, the game is over. So it just makes it hard to really get both things accomplished in this series of like putting together good videos while talking about the Mets, while actually playing well. Like doing all that combined makes it pretty difficult when you are trying to multitask. So I do hope that it will make the videos better. And I said that if the final score is going to be like 10-1 or something crazy like that, then I will change the difficulty back to what it was. But it just got like really frustrating for me and stressful, and I didn't even want to play. And more just because I knew that it was going to be me getting upset and frustrated, because I feel like I have a chance, especially in the previous game, 2 games ago, where I really felt like I was going to win that game no matter what. And of course, I just completely blew it at the end, and we're going to get a nice little leadoff single/error to start off the game, so that's a great start. But the way the bullpen blew it late, I just didn't think that was going to happen. 2 from Stroman. Struck him out, inning over, able to escape a first inning bases loaded jam. That's the thing I do remember about Stroman. That was actually kind of realistic there, because when he had that first game against the Nationals, when it was his home debut, I remember that he gave up all these base runners early, and he would really had a battle and get out of it. And then when he got out of it, he was coming off the mound screaming, getting all pumped up like he had just made this major accomplishment. And before you knew it, I mean, he couldn't get out of it every time, and eventually some of those base runners did end up crossing home plate, and the Mets had to make the big comeback with Alonso and J.D. and Frazier and Conforto. But still, I mean, that was really concerning to me, just the way he was sweating and could not handle the pressure of his first home start. It made me wonder, how would he handle a postseason scenario? And the one thing I could think of that kind of related to, only because the Blue Jays have not been a perennial, playoff team. I mean, the one year that they were in the playoffs was the same year the Mets were in 2015. But the one thing I can compare it to is when there was the World Baseball Classic and Stroman was pitching for USA. And he pitched really well, and I know World Baseball Classic and MLB playoffs are two separate things, but there is a lot of pressure, and there's kind of a playoff atmosphere too with the way the crowd is and just everyone involved. They all take it very seriously. So seeing that Stroman was able to perform under those circumstances make me hope that if the Mets somehow were to get into the playoffs, he would be able to handle it. And the other thing, I mean, about this particular year, because we have to keep in mind, this is Stroman's last year on his deal. And like I've said before, if Stroman is anywhere close to the pitcher he thinks he is, which would be a guy that could easily make over $100 million, potentially over $200 million if he is good, an all-star again, I just think that the Mets are not going to keep him. So, I mean, this is going to be the one real chance we would have to see Stroman, how he would do in a playoff scenario for the Mets. I think that without fans being in attendance, that it would make it easier for Stroman to just concentrate and not really get too worried and start sweating and walk base runners and have to scream after he gets out of a big inning. Cano gets one to fall into right field, a good okay RBI. And Cespedes drives on out to deep left field, just early squared up. That one is out of here. Wow, there we go. Yoenis Cespedes finally hits a home run, his 4th of the season, and the New York Mets now lead 3-0. I mean, it definitely has been tough with Cespedes on the higher difficulties and with the directional. Thank you, Demetrius, for recommending zone, and I do hope that that will get Cespedes going, because I do believe that, if the season does ever get started, Cespedes should be healthy, so he definitely should have an impact on this team. Also, because there's a good chance there's going to be a DH, I think that'd be perfect for Cespedes, so he wouldn't even have to play the field, so you really would be able to have him play, and have him play pretty frequently. And we know how much he has helped the Mets lineup in the past, so I can only imagine what he would do in an actually good Mets lineup. I would really like to see how that combination would work out. Nunez drives that one out to right center field. Perfect, perfect. And it's out of here. Oh my gosh. Eduardo Nunez has left the yard, his first homer of the season. Oh my goodness. I mean, thank you, Demetrius, for the zone, because on directional, I wasn't doing anything with Nunez. And on Hall of Famer legend, I wasn't doing anything with Nunez. That pitch was way out of the strike zone and was still able to get a perfect out of it. Wow, did not expect that at all, and it is now an unexpected score. That was a big one right there. I really like that. Now, we'll see what Nunez can do for this team, because we really don't know. He's been a guy that, as I've said before, I would have liked to have had him a few years ago instead of Todd Frazier. And he actually didn't do as well as I thought he was going to. He was coming off a really good year with the San Francisco Giants. Wasn't as good for Boston, was still decent, don't get me wrong. He helped them out in the playoffs a little bit. But he is now a Met a couple years later, and he looked like he showed some promise in spring training. I mean, he got some hits, and they said the speed was back. He had one particular triple that really stood out. It was a game where the Mets were mic'd up, and they're saying, you know, go Noonie, and he was moving. So that definitely is encouraging. That's been one of the real themes with Eduardo Nunez for his career. He's been known for his speed. And we know that the Mets have always had a lack of speed for, it seems like, forever now. And you just hope that adding someone like Nunez off the bench could give them a little boost in that department, as McNeil gets a nice double but don't have enough speed to get Marcus Stroman to score. And they're going to pull their starting pitcher here in the second inning. Oh my goodness. Alonso hits a slow roller, going to try to come home. I will. Good chop on a changeup over the plate, but it is an RBI. Oh man, I would like to have, I mean, not necessarily got another home run with Alonso. I wouldn't mind it, but I think could have been better than a good chop, little ground ball to third. 2-2 from the Stroman. Wow, I don't know how he hit that. That was a really good pitch. Come on. Late okay. Oh, don't give me the bloop garbage. That one's hit back to Stroman, who just goes straight dump. Hanging cutter. Cespedes is able to catch it and end the inning, so able to limit the damage. Definitely could have been worse. I mean, there was some unfortunate plays there. The little late okay and hitting it back to Stroman, and Stroman just stopping. 2 from Betances. On the ground to Nunez. Fires over the first, and it's a nice 1-2-3 7th inning from Dellin Betances. Fastball line right to Nunez. Pretty good throw over the first, and it's a 1-2-3 10-pitch 8th inning for Seth Lugo. J.D. Davis drives that one out to left field. Good. Left field going back, looking up. It's out of here. A pinch hit 3-run home run for J.D. Davis to really give the Mets a much nicer lead and put us ahead 9-2. I mean, 9-2 feels a lot better than 6-2, because 4-run lead, I mean, it's still doable because it is All-Star. It's the bottom half of the Pirates lineup. But just in general, I mean, if you have a chance to turn a 4-run game into a 7-run game, you feel a lot more comfortable. It's like, you know what? That was going to be the time to use JD. I had a couple runners on. This was probably going to be my last at-bat of the game. So I figured I might as well use them, hope for the best, and the best did happen, a 3-run homer. That one's hit, off Gazelman, who now, no, Alonso, go over there. No, wrong way. Oh, my goodness. If Alonso just stayed at first, oh, no. Oh, come on. Oh, boy. That's not good. He took a ball right off the, was it his face? Staying in. Oh, okay, that's good. I mean, I know Gazelman is my worst rated reliever, but he actually holds some value to me only because, like, in games like this, I could just go to him. I don't have to rest. I don't have to use any of my, arms that I want to. Pirates down to their final strike. This way, if I was like, oh, well, now I don't have Brock or, whoever because I had to use them to close out this game. It's like, nope. I could just use Gazelman. Swung on and missed. Struck him out. Ball game is over. Put it in the books. New York Mets win this game 9-2 with some very unexpected contributors. I will say that Nunez going yard was definitely a big one for me, and having Cespedes leave the ballpark, that was pretty nice. So we definitely had guys step up that I didn't really expect. Stroman was pitching really well until that 6th inning, definitely ran some trouble and was able to not make it too bad. Then J.D. Davis hits the big pinch hit home run late to really put the game away, and Gazelman shuts the door. But what I was going to say about Gazelman was just that there's also times where in extra innings, I know I blow it early, But if the games were to go on, like, he's the guy I would go to give me a couple innings. So, you know, he also holds value in that regard as well. So I definitely don't want to lose him, because one of the things I've said a lot is just the fact of the lack of depth that the Mets have for relievers as far as it goes. I still don't think their current bullpen is good enough as it is when you look at the, you know, the end of the end, because it's like, okay, you have Diaz and Familia, who both those guys are inconsistent. Batanz is no guarantee, but you have Lugo and Wilson. You feel pretty good about them. Brock, inconsistent. But then after that, Gazelman, inconsistent. And then who are you going to go to next? Seawald, we don't trust. And the rest are minor league relievers. So if anybody were to get hurt, it would be another minor league reliever on the team. And I just feel like that could be a pretty big deal, because you're going to have to go to these guys eventually. And it could be in pretty big spots that you wouldn't really expect, because maybe Lugo has a day off for somebody else and it's an extra inning game and they blow the game and you end up losing. So I'm glad that Gazelman's okay and that everybody else is healthy. I hope that all of you guys are staying healthy. And until the next one, be safe and smart.